Dear students, today we are going to discuss about semiconductors. So now I am going to introduce the subject semiconductors to you. Okay, so what is meant by semiconductor? Okay, what are the examples for that and what is its property? Everything we are going to discuss one by one. Okay, so let us start the topic. So after the invention of electricity, solid materials can be classified into three types. So what are they? One is conductor and then semiconductor and then insulator. So this semiconductor is our topic today. So let us discuss one by one. So first conductors. As we know well, conductors means it is the material which conducts electricity. The materials which conduct electricity are called conductors. So example for the conductors are, okay, example for the conductors are copper, aluminum, gold, silver, etc. Okay, these are the examples for the conductors. Okay, now we are coming to insulators. So what is meant by insulator? It is the extreme end of the conductor, that is the materials which does not conduct electricity. The materials which does not conduct electricity are called insulators. Okay, so example for insulators are glass, paper, rubber, wood, etc. So these are the examples of the insulator. So both conductor and insulators are opposite extremes. Okay, so conductor means the materials which conducts electricity. Insulator means the materials which does not conduct electricity. Okay, examples also I have given for both. So now we are coming to semiconductor. What is semiconductor? Okay, the semiconductor means at a specific condition, the semiconductor will behave as an insulator, as that means, and conductors. So what is the specific condition and what is the definition for semiconductors? Let us discuss. So semiconductor means the material which has the electrical conductivity between the conductor and the insulators. Okay, so the materials which have electrical conductivity electrical conductivity lies between conductor and insulator. Okay, so this is the definition for semiconductors. Some materials will have the electrical conductivity property which lies between the conductor and the insulators. Okay, so now let us discuss the energy band diagram for this three materials so that we can understand what is the semiconductor is. Okay, so example for semiconductor is germanium, silicon, etc. Okay, germanium, silicon, etc. So now you have clear idea about conductors, semiconductors and insulators. Now I am going to explain these three materials with the help of energy band diagram. Okay, so let us go to energy band diagram now. So now see this energy band diagram of these three materials. This is the energy band diagram. So now you see all the materials will have these two bands. One is the valency band and another one is the conduction band. So according to the energy only we divided this. So the lower energy band is called the valency band. The upper energy band is called the conduction band. So when we come to the conductor, the valency band and the conduction band is not divided. Okay, so both these bands are overlapped with each other. Both the bands are overlapped with each other. In between the two bands there is no gap at all. So the energy gap is not there here. That is the reason the conductivity is possible in case of the conductor. The conductivity is very easy in this case due to this overlapping of valency band and the conduction band. Okay, so next directly we are coming to the insulator. So when we see this insulator band gap diagram, now you see the valency band is here and the conduction band is here. In between the valency band and the conduction band we have the energy gap. That energy gap is nothing but forbidden energy gap. this Fermi energy gap is greater than 3 electron volt, That is the reason these materials does not conduct electricity. Okay, and then when we come to semiconductor, see the diagram. This diagram is almost similar to insulator. Okay, valency band is there, conduction band is there. In between these two band we have the energy gap, but the energy gap is less than 3 electron volt. Okay, less than 3 electron volt. This is the important property. So due to this, if we supply any energy to the valency band, so the electrons will go to the conduction band, so that the conductivity will be possible in case of semiconductor. So this energy band diagram will explain you how these three materials are classified. Okay, so based on this energy band gap, we discussed what is for conductor, semiconductor, and then insulator. So now you have the clear idea about the semiconductor. So semiconductor is the material which has the electrical conducting property which lies between the conductor and the insulator. At a specific condition, the semiconductor will behave as the insulator as well as the conductor. So now its energy gap is less than 3 electron volt. This is what very important point we have to remember. The energy gap is less than 3 electron volt. Okay. Now we will discuss the types of semiconductor. The types of semiconductors. There are two types of semiconductors we are having. Types of semiconductors. Based on its purity, semiconductors are classified into two types. Okay, based on purity. Based on purity, semiconductors are classified into two types. Okay, what are the two types of semiconductors? The first type is called intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, the first type is called intrinsic semiconductor, and the second type is called extrinsic semiconductor. This is intrinsic and this one will be extrinsic semiconductor. So already I mentioned clearly based on the purity. So the intrinsic semiconductors are nothing but pure form of semiconductor. Okay, and the extrinsic means impure form of semiconductor. Okay, impure form of semiconductor. Okay, the first one is intrinsic semiconductor. So how can we define intrinsic semiconductor? Intrinsic semiconductors are nothing but the pure form of semiconductor. Is nothing but pure form of semiconductor. As we know well, the examples for the semiconductor is germanium, silicon, right? So when we come to the extrinsic semiconductor, we mentioned it is the impure form. What is the meaning of impure form? Let us discuss that part. So impurity, that is the addition of impurity. What is this? Addition of impurities. That is called doping. Addition of impurities is called as doping. What is meant by doping? That means already we know that in intrinsic semiconductor, number of electrons in the conduction band and the number of holes in the valency band will be equal. Okay, in case of this, N is equal to P. What is N? Already we have discussed two energy bands. This is the valency band and this one will be the conduction band. So if the electron jumps from valency band to conduction band, so the electrons will go here. It will reach here. Okay, the electrons will reach here. So the electrons is reaching here. This red color dots represents the electrons. So that what it will create here in the sense, if the electron left in the sense, in this place holes will be created. In case of valency band, holes will be created. So N represents number of electrons in the conduction band and P represents number of holes in the valency band. So this is the pure form. Intrinsic semiconductor is the pure form. So if we supply the energy, the electrons will jump to the conduction band by leaving holes in the valency band. So number of electrons in the conduction band is equal to number of holes in the valency band in case of intrinsic semiconductor. So this is the conductivity. Okay, when we come to the extrinsic semiconductor, okay, this doping we are doing. What is meant by doping? Addition of impurities. Okay, so here the main parental atom is germanium or silicon. Germanium or silicon. Okay, with this if you add any impurities, so that it will become impure semiconductor. That impure form of semiconductor is called extrinsic semiconductor. Why we are adding this impurities? This impurities will change the electrical conductivity. Will change the electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity. Okay, so that means the impurities will change the drastic effect in the electrical conductivity. That is the reason we are adding the impurities to the semiconductor. So this process of addition of impurities is called doping. The materials which we are going to add is called dopant. The material which we are going to add to the material is called dopant material. The process is called doping, so that the semiconductor now it becomes extrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so why we are adding these impurities? So that the electrical conductivity will be changed. That is the reason we are adding the impurities. So based on the addition of impurities, based on the impurities, okay, I will write here. So based on impurities, this extrinsic semiconductor further classified into two types. One is called p-type semiconductor and another one is called n-type semiconductor. P-type and then n-type semiconductor. So now we are going to discuss in detail of these two types, p-type as well as n-type. Okay, so let us go to the types of extrinsic semiconductors. So now first one is p-type semiconductor, okay, and the next one is n-type semiconductor. Okay, p-type means adding trivalent impurities to the semiconductor. So now first I am considering the semiconductor. Example for semiconductor is germanium. Okay, this is germanium. In this germanium is the fourth group element in the periodic table. Fourth group element. What is the meaning of fourth group element? These elements will have 4 valency electrons. Okay, fourth group element means it will have 4 valence electrons. In the outermost orbit, it contains only 4 electrons. So these elements are called fourth group elements in the periodic table. Okay, so this germanium is added with trivalent impurities. What is that? Trivalent impurities. So from the name we can understand very clearly, trivalent means 3. So in the outermost orbit it consists only 3 valency electrons. 3 valency electrons. Okay, 3 valency electrons. When the semiconductor is added with trivalent impurities, it forms p-type semiconductor. Okay, what are the examples of the trivalent impurities? That is boron, okay, aluminum, gallium, indium, etc. Okay, so how can we form the p-type semiconductor? When the trivalent impurity is added to the germanium, it produces the p-type semiconductors. Okay, it produces the p-type semiconductors. Now let me draw the diagram of this. So that means now I am considering boron. So boron, in the sense, in outermost orbit it consists of 3 valency electrons. Okay, as we know well, this germanium is having 4 valency electrons. So that if it is bonding with the germanium, here one electron, okay, here another electron, and here another electron, and here one more germanium will be there. Okay, so here there is no, here 2 electrons are bonded, and here also 2 electrons are bonded by making the covalent bond, but here one space is vacant. Here. Okay, the vacant space is there, so which is nothing but hole. The empty site of the electron is the hole. Okay, so here in case of p-type, these holes are there, no? The holes are the majority charge carriers. Majority charge carrier. majority charge carrier. Okay, in case of p-type, holes are the majority charge carriers. This we have to remember for the further discussion. Okay, that's all about p-type semiconductor. Once again I will repeat, listen carefully. So how the p-type semiconductors are formed? The germanium is the semiconductor which is added with trivalent impurities like boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, etc. It produces the p-type semiconductor. So in boron, 3 valence electrons are there. These 3 valence electrons makes bonding with the germanium, but one vacant site will be there to accept the electron. That vacant site is called a hole. So in case of p-type, holes are the majority charge carriers. Okay, holes are the majority charge carriers. So that the trivalent impurities are called as acceptor impurities or acceptor atom. Okay, acceptor atom. These atoms are ready to accept the electron. That's what it is called, acceptor atom. So now you have clear idea about the p-type semiconductor. So next we are going to the n-type semiconductor. So how the n-type semiconductors are formed? How n-type semiconductors are formed. Okay, now this is the, again I am considering the same example, germanium. Okay, this is the semiconductor. With this semiconductor, already we have discussed that this germanium is the fourth group element. When this germanium is added with the pentavalent impurities, pentavalent impurities. What is this pentavalent impurities? In its outermost orbit, it consists of 5 valence electrons. How many electrons will be there? 5 valency electrons will be there. Okay, so let us see the diagram. So this will give n-type semiconductors. This will give n-type semiconductor. The examples for pentavalent impurities are phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, etc. So these are the examples for pentavalent impurities. Okay, so how the bonding will be there? So that means phosphorus, I am considering the example phosphorus. So phosphorus is having 5 valency electrons. Okay, these are the 4 and one more I am giving here. Okay, there are 5 valency electrons. These electrons will make bonding with the germanium. Okay, so germanium is having 4 valency electrons, so that now you see, so it will make the bonding here. Okay, and this will also make the bonding, and here also it is making the bonding, but one electron is not have the germanium atom to make the bonding. So this electron is free. This valency electron is free. Okay, so in case of n-type semiconductors, electrons are more in number. That's what electrons are majority charge carriers. Electrons are majority charge carriers. Majority charge carriers. Electrons are the majority charge carriers. See here, this phosphorus is ready to donate the electron. It is having excess of electron. So that's what the pentavalent impurities are called, donor impurities or donor atom. Okay, why? Because it is ready to donate the electron. Okay, this is electron ready to donate the electron. That's what this pentavalent impurities are called, donor atoms. Okay, so once again I will repeat what is n-type semiconductors and how it is formed. When the pentavalent impurity is added to the germanium semiconductor, it produces the n-type semiconductors. Example for pentavalent impurities are phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. It consists of 5 valency electrons in the outermost orbit. So the 4 will make bonding with the germanium and 1 electron is excess. So it is ready to donate. That's what the phosphorus is named it as donor atom. So in case of n-type semiconductors, electrons are the majority charge carriers. Electrons are the majority charge carriers. Now we have completed what is semiconductor and what is the types of semiconductors, and then what are the types of extrinsic semiconductors and how it is formed. Okay, so next we are going to discuss about the energy level diagram for intrinsic N-type and then P-type semiconductor. Okay, so now let me draw the diagram for intrinsic, P-type and N-type semiconductor. So as we discussed the semiconductor energy band gap diagram, the same will be for intrinsic semiconductor also. So what is that? Here in case of valency band, this is valency band, this is energy, and this is the conduction band. So here energy gap will be there will be some energy gap, okay. And here I am going to introduce one new term, okay. What is the new term is, here I am going to draw another energy level. This energy level is represented by EF. This is represented by EF. What is this EF? EF is nothing but Fermi energy level. What is this Fermi energy level? Let us have a look into that. So what is this Fermi energy? If we have discussed the particle in one-dimensional box, okay. So this will be the diagram for the particle in one-dimensional box. In that we have discussed number of energy states will be there. In that electrons will be occupied, okay. At T is equal to, at temperature T is equal to 0 Kelvin. Now you see here first 2 electrons will be present and then another 2 electrons, like that the atoms will be existing, the electrons will be existing in the energy states. Now you see this is N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, at the specific condition temperature is equal to 0 Kelvin, the maximum energy state is the fourth energy state. Okay, N is equal to 4. Okay, the maximum energy level up to which the electrons filled at 0 Kelvin is called Fermi energy level. Okay, the maximum energy state up to which the electrons will be filled at temperature T is equal to 0 Kelvin. This is Fermi energy level. Okay, so when we see this intrinsic semiconductor, this Fermi energy level exactly lies between the valency band and the conduction band, in between the valency band and the conduction band. This is the pure form of semiconductor. Okay, so here P represents number of holes in the valency band and N represents number of electrons in the conduction band. Okay, this is the energy level diagram for intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so the same thing we are going to draw for P-type also. So P-type means here we are adding the impurities. So that the energy level diagram is little modified due to the addition of these impurities. So lower energy band is called valency band, okay, and then upper energy band is called the conduction band. Okay, so here we are adding the acceptor atoms, ready to accept the electrons. From where the electrons are coming? From valency band only. So this acceptor energy level is just above the valency band. So here I am going to write E suffix A. What is this EA represents? EA is the acceptor energy level. Okay, this is ready to accept the electrons. That is the reason which lies just above the valency band. Okay, so in this case where the Fermi energy level lies? So the Fermi energy level lies in between the valency band and the acceptor energy level. So here EF lies. Okay, and then the same diagram I am going to draw for N-type also. So the general diagram will be, the lower energy band will be the valency band, okay, the upper energy band is called the conduction band, right? So here which impurity we are adding? Donor atoms or donor impurities. Okay, donor, it is going to donate electrons to the conduction band, so that in this case the donor energy level will lies just below the conduction band. So here I am going to denote the letter ED. What is ED? ED is the donor energy level. So the donor energy level lies just below the conduction band to donate the electrons to the conduction band. Okay, so in this case where the Fermi energy level lies, so in between this conduction band and the donor energy level, the Fermi energy lies. So this will be the energy level diagram for intrinsic, p-type and then n-type semiconductor. So here what we have to understand is, in case of intrinsic semiconductor, the Fermi energy level lies between valency band and the conduction band. But in case of p-type, it lies in between the valency band and the acceptor energy level. In case of n-type, the Fermi energy level lies in between the conduction band and the donor energy level. I hope you understand these things. If you have any doubts, you just ask in the comment box. So thank you everyone.